Hey there, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I did these nails. This is an aura nail with reflective cat eye glitter. It doesn't use an airbrush, which I think makes it an easy way to achieve an aura nail if you don't want to invest in a big piece of equipment. So I'm starting off with my nails already prepped. They have luminary gel on and they also have a base gel. And I'm taking a small tapered brush and dipping it into a Young Nails color. This is a brown, one of their painting gels from the Mission Control series. And I'm just going to be painting that around the edges of my nail. Really, the whole kind of technique here is ombreing. So if you have a specific formula, if you've done ombres before and you have a specific formula of gel that you find is really easy for you to ombre, then I would say that would be a great place to start. But yeah, I'm doing 3 thin layers of this. So you'll see essentially I'm painting around the edge of the nail and then I'm feathering that color toward the center to sort of diffuse it. And in case you're not familiar with the word ombreing, it's basically sort of fading a color, sometimes blending it into another color, sometimes just fading it, either down the nail, up the nail, or in some kind of pattern. So now I'm taking that same brush after washing off the brown, and I'm dipping it into a base gel and sort of pulling down around the edges to help softly diffuse the color that I have down. So you'll see that it's making it just really fade nicely into the center. And I did, with the later nails, go in a little bit with a little bit more color than I did on this one. So you can do that. But I was just being kind of cautious to not get anything into the cuticles, which didn't entirely work. I still got some polish into the cuticles. It's something I'm working on. So anyway, I just fully cured that coat and now I'm going in and doing the same thing on the second layer, just working the polish around the edges and fading. And I did only end up I filmed the whole thing, this whole set, and it really took a long time. I also did a little ring nail on the middle finger, and I didn't end up showing that. If that's something people are interested in seeing, I still do have the footage of that, and I'm sure I could edit it together. But yeah, I decided to leave this one in regular time, so this is not sped up at all, just sort of kind of an indication of how quickly I really work, which is not particularly quickly. So yeah, I'm just going in now and cleaning up around the edges. This is always important, making sure that I pretty quickly get any gel that's on my skin off. And yeah, so what I'm doing is dipping another clean brush into surface cleanser, which is just acetone and rubbing alcohol, and removing anything off of the edges. And you'll see that I am going to be going in with a different technique to ombre this one. First, it looks like I'm adding a little bit more. I wanted to get it nice and dark around the edges. But yeah, I'll show you in a second another technique for ombreing. There are several. Again, you can use a sponge, you can use rubbing alcohol on a brush, and you can you can pull the outside brown polish sort of toward the center. That's one option. There are lots of different ways to do this. And then this is the other option that I think is nice, and that's just taking a small striping brush and putting a little bit of base gel on and pulling the polish toward the center. So I thought this worked very well as well. And actually, some people do prefer to line the edges of the nail with that striping brush, and that's the way I started. I'll show you right here in the corner that's actually the first way that I tried to do this. But for me, it looks smooth because it's sped up in that clip, but I don't have as much control with the liner brush, especially up near the cuticle. So I actually went in with that smaller tapered brush, and that worked best for me, but you might want to try something else. All right, so I fully cured that, and I am going in with this beautiful cat eye gel, just putting it on the center, and then I'm sort of going to be feathering this gel out toward the edges. So you'll see me do that. I use that same little tapered brush that I had been using, and there is a little bit of brown on my brush. That wasn't really intentional to have that there. I really more just intended to grab some base coat, but having a little bit of the brown honestly just helps blend it a little bit, so it wasn't something that bothered me too much. So yeah, I'm just kind of very lightly dragging out the glitter toward the edges just to create sort of a diffuse line there. And one cool thing about cat eye, I think you could do this with any glitter for sure, and I think it would look beautiful. And also with glitters in general, they can kind of camouflage any mistakes, I think. So glitter is really nice, but in particular, cat eye is really nice too. I'll show you why in a second. So I'm doing the same thing I do with every cat eye. I'm going around either side from left to right, and then from top to bottom with the big magnet, just sort of pushing the particles toward the center. And then I'm taking the smaller part and I'm really pushing them a little bit even further into the center with that. And that again kind of helps with the aura effect because you're pushing the particles toward the center to create them, to create a stronger effect in the center. So it creates, just emphasizes the aura effect even more. So now this part's optional, but I went ahead and took the darker brown polish, not the darker brown, the only brown polish I used in the set, that same polish, and I went around the edges because I wanted it to be a little bit darker. And also I think doing this sort of embeds the glitter in the look in a way, which I think is cool. When I feather that brown gel toward the center, it creates almost like a jelly effect. And if you've been here before, you know that I think cat eye underneath jelly polish always looks really cool. And this kind of helped to create just a little bit of like an embedded glitter look, which was cool. But I do think it's optional. I think you could make this much simpler than I did and it would look great. I was just kind of having fun creating just a very kind of diffuse aura nail. Yeah, but I think this would look good with any kind of glitter. And I also think that this is the same technique. I mean, I haven't really done an aura nail, but if I were to attempt an aura nail that wasn't glitter, I think I would do the same thing, lay down the polish the same way in the first steps with the solid color. And then instead of glitter, I think I would just use maybe something like a milky white or something that is a little bit sheer and kind of do the same thing where you just sort of ombre whatever the top color is out after building up an ombre with the base color. So I hope that makes sense. So here I'm just using rubbing alcohol to remove a little bit from the center. I wanted to make sure that there was some really clear glitter that was shining through. Sometimes you're kind of having to go back and forth with that. So I did put on a base coat after fully curing this, and here we are back on the porch. This is what they look like in natural light. Gorgeous. I think they look very beautiful in this light, and then this is where they really shine, literally. This is in dim light and with the flash on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again in the future. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.